Good morning and welcome to Chaturday Live. My name is Jason Robinson. I'm your host. And as you can probably see, we are in a different location. We're not in my cozy little studio, aka small bedroom. We are here live at Kendal Town Football Club. They've given us access to the whole club today. So we're going to be giving you some more information and videos throughout the day. But today we're going to be interviewing on my far left, you're right on your screen, the one and only chairman, Mr. Jay Rossi. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Jay.
Speaking to the mic, Jay.
Good morning, Jay.
That's the one. And in the middle here, we've got ex-professional footballer, football manager, the one and only Mr. Chris Humphrey. Good morning.
Morning, you okay?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you very much for having me. So what we're going to do, for those that are new to the channel, what we normally do is we just have a bit of an interview. We have a chin wag, just to have a bit of a discussion about the club. We'll talk football. We'll talk football teams. We'll talk everything football. And what most of all, we're going to promote Kendal Town because it's a fantastic club. They've welcomed me with open arms. And, you know, we're going to give a little back today. So first off, we'll go into it. So Kendal Town Football Club didn't always used to be called Kendal Town Football Club. If I remember correctly, without looking at my iPad, it used to be called Neverfields. Back in 1919, it was started by the K Shoes factory, if I'm right.
That's correct, yeah.
And it's been Neverfields for a very, very long time, but it's only actually changed to Kendal Town in 2000. Is that right? So it's only been about 20 years now. It's changed hands into the Kendal Town Football Club. So the actual football team itself has been part of the community in Kendal for a very, very long time. Obviously, Jay, I know that obviously you've had a late night, but you haven't been around since 1990. So how did you become the chairman and how did you get involved in the club?
Well, I just
Stick the mic to your mouth, Jay.
I came over with the working reserves. We had nowhere to go, so we came over and we set up with George's 10-point plan to start the reserves. And that's how it happened. And then from there, I've just learned how to what's going on and monitor things and that. And George just wanted to hand the club over to me when he stood down. So I wasn't too keen on. I don't want to be the chairman or anything like that, but I know I have to be to get the club in the right thing. And then we've brought all the players in. Chris Humphreys in to get the team play football, and it's just gone from there. Everyone's just like a whirlwind. Just happened.
I think what we'll do is we'll start from the beginning. So Jay, football, has it always been a part of yourself?
Oh, yes.
So give us a bit of a backstory on you then. So where's football come from in Jay's family then?
Well, it started when I was like a young lad with my dad. We set up a team and we ended up finishing under 18s, county champions, league champions every year. And I got signed with Carlisle when I was 15 under Harry Gregg. Still got my contract there, God rest his soul. Good old Harry. And England trials and county under 18s and things. And then I sort of... Once Jack was born, I had a little break in there. I got out of it too early. I got out of football too early, and waste of skin, as my dad would say. And once Jack was born, at 5-year-old, just got me right back into it again. And we've had a good journey just up to now, where he's been down in London and signed on with Swindon. And I just learned how the ropes, how to learn out what's going on and whatever. And it's football every day. Life.
So yeah, from what I've spoken to you obviously for the last couple of weeks now, obviously getting used to the idea of coming in, setting up this. So as you can probably tell, it's new for everybody. It's new for me. It's new for the club to be able to have such an opportunity as well. So yeah, don't worry about it. We know you've changed your jeans a few times this morning. That's all right, Jay. But yeah, with Kendal Town itself, the football club and the history of it as well. So a lot of people, if you say the word Kendal, the first thing that comes to mind is mint cake. Secondly, you probably think a bit of rambling. They do a lot of walking around here because it's the Lake District as well. And then you've got the football club. Well, you've got sports in general. I think that you can't really knock on the head the fact that Kendal and Cumbria itself is rife with sports across the nation. It is rugby, cricket, football. Obviously, there's a lot of youth teams around here as well. So, I mean, it's a fantastic place to set up base for yourself, obviously, to take on the chairman role. And then, not leaving him silent too long, you've got the gentleman sitting right next to me, Mr. Chris Humphreys. I mean, you're probably a little bit of a household name in the northern area, I'd probably say, and you've scored a few goals in your lifetime. I mean, what brings you to Kendal?
Look, it was a good opportunity for me. Obviously, I was at Gretna before here as a manager there, and it didn't quite work out there. And I had a little break from when I left Gretna, and I was looking out for job opportunities. And when Kendal came up, it was a great opportunity for me because it's not too far away from from where I live in Preston. And it's a great club. They're in a great league for me to start. I know where I am managerial-wise. I know where I'd like to get to. And I thought it'd be a fantastic opportunity to learn my trade and to be able to create a team that I think can compete in this league with the connections that I have and the people that I know. To be able to bring players in, which we have done, has been fantastic. So it's been a great opportunity for me, one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm finally really happy with the squad that we've got. We've got a competitive squad, and I couldn't have asked for better lads, to be honest, because they give me 100%. They do a lot of work away from the football club. I only know one way, and that's to be professional. That's the only way I know. Last 15 years, I've had to be that in my own career. So I've wanted to take that into this, and it's really hard to build a team of lads that work, around the clock, and to then be able to go out and do a massive run or a difficult run or go to the gym or swim or whatever we ask them to do, and every single one of them do it. So I think that's another part of why we've had a decent start to this season, and also in this last lockdown, I couldn't have asked any more. They've worked tremendously hard. I get them to post their runs and stuff that they do in the group, so they've worked unbelievably hard, and I think that they're now ready and excited for their first game back competitively today. We've had a few friendlies. They've looked sharp in those, so. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play today.
I think that it's no surprise for the people that obviously are following Kendal Town Football Club on a weekly basis. I mean, we've got a few of your fans on. Good morning. But I think the question is, and I don't think you'd be ashamed to say it yourselves, that Kendal has never been, let's be honest, top of the league all of the time. But this season seems to be the season where, Jay, you've got it sorted out. Chris has got the lads in a position where he wants them to be. And I'm looking at it live this morning. So Kendal Town are already sitting in the middle of the table quite comfortably. And you're playing the team that's currently sitting above you in the table today. So not only is today's game going to be competitive, it's got that added pressure that you need to get those points because you know that the team you're playing today is already sitting above you. From what I've read, what I've seen, obviously on your social media pages, like you've said there, Chris, your team is giving 110%, which I think is evident in what you're doing on the pitch. And hopefully today you'll get another win as well. I mean, we've got people now saying, obviously, such as Paul, when are you going to give the local lads a go, Jay? But I think what it comes down to is that Kendal Town itself wants to get back to this position where other teams are scared to come here. And it's not going to be an easy win anymore. It's not going to be, we'll go to Kendal, we'll be here for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, we're back on the bus. Kendal Town, from what I can see, are putting up a fight. And like you said, I think that's credit to you, Chris, as well.
Yeah, look, it's like I always say to the boys, and Jay will back this up. He's seen many team talks now, and look, I'm not the sort of personal manager, and you can ask the lads this, that I don't take credit for what's happened, because I just think that once you get a group of players that want to be here, one, and two, want to work their socks off, there's you can't really say anything else on that. And they've, like I said just previously, they've given me everything. They give everything on the pitch. They come off and they can't move. That's how much they give me. That's what we demand from them. And they've given me everything. I've also got a great backing staff as well, with John Foley, whose coaching knowledge and abilities is second to none. And obviously I worked with him at Gretna as well. And some of the knowledge when we're in training and some of the information that he gives to the lads is fantastic. And it's something that I need because, I've only retired a few years ago, and I'm not experienced in coaching like he is. He's coached at a few top clubs and he's got vast experience in that field. But what I obviously bring is I've played the game at a high level, so I help the boys that way. And I think that with John and I combined with the information that we can give them on each of our levels, I think that you know that they get some good information. And a month ago, and he came and took a game for me, and I think that again that brings down the level of coaching that obviously he's been involved in, and 4 promotions or 5 promotions. It's unbelievable that they've been able to have that experience and that sort of character in the changing rooms with them, and he's thoroughly enjoyed it. And he even said to himself, the game that he took control of is probably one of the best games he's been involved in, because down to 9 men at half time and 2-0 down, and second half the lads bring it back to 2-2, and I was gutted I missed that one, but himself was like, at the beginning he was like, what am I doing here, for a start off, and then at the end he was like, wow, that was unreal. So that's what these boys bring, and that's what I think I like the most about them, is when we go out we don't expect to be where we are in the league. People say, oh, how are you doing it? But it's literally just the lads are willing to fight and scrap and till the last minute. And I think Ramsbottom's the biggest game that they proved that to me, where they've scored in the last minute. We've got Tom Fagan running through on the 93rd minute from his own half and going and scoring and drawing 2-2, and that meant everything to us. And even their players were saying afterwards, how are you celebrating that? Because it's a draw. Like, no one celebrates a draw. Well, I do, because it's Ramsbottom. Oh, yeah. Away to Ramsbottom. They've got a massive budget. And for us, Kendal Town, with the players that we have, what people have to remember is our players vary from 17 to 25. We've got Saidu and Hugo that, we've brought in, that are a bit older, and myself. But apart from that our oldest player is 25, our youngest 17. So they all vary, the age is there. So we are very young. So for them to still be fighting away at Ramsbottom, an experienced team, and go and get that result. And I think that's what teams will look at us and think they can score at any time. They'll give 100%. They're fit, because that's one thing that I demand, is that the players are very fit, and if they're not fit, they won't play. That's just simple, and that's all I've ever, like I said before, that's all I've ever known. If you want to play, you need to be competitive, you need to be fit. So these lads put the work in away from the football club. They turn up on a Saturday, and if teams beat us, it's because they were just better on the day. It wasn't because we didn't try. It wasn't because we didn't give 100%. It was just because they were better, and I can accept that. But what I can't accept is if they beat us and they're stronger than us, or more aggressive than us, they've run more than us. So yeah, that's it. That's the main gist of it, really.
I think we'll touch on what you said there right at the beginning. Like you say, you're a professional footballer. So what you bring to this team is experience and knowledge of on the pitch. You know what the lads are going through. From their point of view, that when the manager's twisting their ear and saying, you've got to pull it out at halftime, you've got to do this, you're not saying it because you're trying to be nasty. It's because you've been there. You know what's needed to be said. And again, with your results that you've come through with, it's working. And with your backroom staff, and obviously with the support of your chairman and everybody else, it seems like the lads, from what I've spoken to Jay, is that not only are Kendal playing, the players actually want to be here and play as well. They're proud to put on that shirt and get out on that pitch as well, and that's quite evident. So there's a chance that probably some of your players are now watching this and obviously having a good old laugh at their manager and chairman and stuff like that. But I mean,
you just won't play that.
But I think what we can say is that you've clearly done something, and your players deserve the credit. They're doing what they need to do, and continue with it, and good things will come.
Yeah, 100%. And what I keep saying to these players is that I'm not doing it for my benefit. I believe that we've got players here. The biggest thing is I've tried to bring in either academy players that have got released because they want to go. They've got the hunger still. Yeah. No one wants to get released from an academy. You want to go on to a youth team, or you want to get a pro contract at a club. And if you get released, I still believe at that age you've still got that fight, because you've been so used to it. And I suppose the way I think of it is, if I had got released at 16, I'd have been used to being at that level. I would have wanted to go somewhere and fight to get back there. And I think that these young boys have shown that. And then obviously you bring in a couple of older ones that just want to give to you, you know, a couple of years left and give you everything for the last couple of years. And I think it's really worked. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prepare these boys, because I believe that some of them, you know, some of these kids can go on again and get that opportunity again. But I want them to be prepared for that opportunity. And what I mean by that is I want them to realize that you've got to come in on time, which they do. I want them to realize that, you know, if you're not playing well, you don't play. You know, I want them to realize that if you're not fit, you don't play, because that's all that's going to happen when they go higher. They've got to understand that, you know, especially if you're playing in the leagues, a manager's that's not gonna be acceptable.
This ain't no free ride.
Yeah, it's no free ride, and I think they've all adapted to it. And it's one thing that I was worried about when I first came in, but I'll never change my ways. I was worried about how players that work round the clock will adapt to these, I wouldn't say strict rules, but these the professionalism, the rules, the runs, the this, the that, and they've been unbelievable. Not one moaning, not one groan, just got on with it, posted everything. And I've actually been very surprised of how fit they are and how much work they actually do away from the football club. And again, in the last month, we've progressed again in that department, obviously bringing Lindsay in, who's been fantastic. She's got a sports science degree behind her, so why not, you know, implement that into our football club? I managed to get her a phone meeting with Dr. Tom Little, who is Preston North End sports scientist. I had him at Preston, probably the best I've had. Unbelievable sports scientist. So she had a good chat with him, and now the runs mean something. Obviously, when I'm putting the runs in, it's just runs. But she's designing these runs now based on the positions that the lads play, all these different things. So it's more sports science. So they're having an opportunity now to have that in their locker. Because again, if you go and play higher, you're going to have that opportunity. You know, we've managed to bring in GPS systems. That, you know, I've got a friend that has them at a college and lends them us for the games again. So now we can start reading their data. We can look at the heat maps and see if they're in position, out of position, how far they're running, and all this sort of stuff. So again, they get that information. So they're starting to really get information like they're at a professional club, and I think it's fantastic for them. But again, it doesn't happen if you don't have the chairman, the boards, and all that will back you with all that. And since I've been here, they've backed me tenfold, and it's been fantastic. And yeah, we do have our battles off the pitch, but I think at this standard, at the club that it is, in such a well-known place, you're going to get that. You're going to get people outside of the club that, you know, that want to be involved in it, and that want to come in and try and run things their way. But I think that the club and the board have been strong with that, and you can see how the lads and how where we're going or where we're trying to go. It's fantastic.
I think, yeah, Jay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think what it is, I mean, from the vibe that I've got from Jay, obviously, I've seen you through the last week or so. We've been in communication over the phone. I've popped in, obviously, setting stuff up. I mean, you're buzzing about the football.
Yeah.
I mean, for a chairman, sometimes it's normally about, I don't care as long as there's bums on seats. I don't care whether you win, lose, or draw. I'm just a chairman of a football club. But you're not that.
I mean,
you're a fan.
Yeah.
You're one of Kendal Town's biggest fans, because you turn up as well. You're passionate. I mean, 20 minutes before we came on air, ladies and gentlemen, he's out there now checking the pitch. He's out on the roller. He's doing everything he possibly can to make sure that this game and every other game is committed. And that's a commitment from the chairman as well. And like you say, I mean, if you don't mind me just touching on, obviously, the futuristic side of sports, would you say that it's a given now that to progress in sports, you have to follow what maybe the bigger teams are doing? Maybe they are getting an edge from the sports science. They're getting an edge, like you say, from the heat maps, maybe the GPS. I mean, Lindsay's just moved in. Hello, Lindsay. Just give us a big hello. So, yeah, would you say that, you know, what you've managed to bring into the club, like you say, with communications with the community and friends and bringing in some extra technology, do you reckon the technology is the future of this league of sport?
It's difficult. It's difficult because this sort of stuff costs money, and it's a lot of money. And, you know, especially with GPS, I know that can be £4,000 or £5,000. I've just been fortunate that I've got a friend in a college that has them, and he can lend me them for games, and that's fantastic. Whether it's a future for this league, I wouldn't say it is. I would just say that it's just something that I've been used to my whole career, and I will always, whatever club I'm at, I will always try and bring those things in. Yeah. And it's just been very fortunate that we've had, say, Lindsay here that's got that degree and that can do that, and I've got a friend that can lend us a GPS, and we've got obviously a very good relationship with Simon Grayson, so he can come down and you know, all these different things. I've just been fortunate that I've been able to get it, and I think football is massively. You can ask anybody this question, but football's massively about who you know.
Yes,
it is, and it's unfortunate, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is a big thing in football.
If you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, today I have actually got my nephew, who's my little sound man today. He's just sitting over there. He's a football player. You're 13 now, is that right, Josh? Yeah. Right. So, I mean, he lives in Kendal, and like you say about it's not what you know, it's who you know. I mean, there's going to be difficulty if you don't live in a big city and there's like academies and people scouts going out and seeing lower league teams and youth players like that. I mean, that's obviously a little bit of a hindrance on players. And like you say, there are parents out there that are taking their kids 60, 100 miles every weekend just to get somewhere, just to get their son known. And or their daughter known, obviously with the women's football coming through very rapidly now, which is incredible. I mean, is that something, I mean, we've spoken about it. Is it something that Kendal itself, are you looking to maybe in the future implement maybe a youth, academy? Is that, just asking the question if you've got any?
Yeah, I think, we've definitely talked about it. And that's why we're trying to bring all this stuff in for the first team to make it better. So then we can start progressing and then start to look at building from the ground upwards, because I just think sometimes if you're building from the ground upwards, you kind of forget about the first team a little bit, and whatever little money you have trying to build that up goes away from the first team. And what people have to realize is this is another big thing why I love my players, because what they have to realize is we don't pay wages here. And when I came here with Jay, we sat down for hours and we talk every day for hours. As you know, Jay can chat for hours. And it's one of those things that we did have a massive conversation with, and I said to him, look, we'll do it bonus based. So, we'll do a goal bonus for the attacking players, a clean sheet bonus for the defenders, a win bonus. And then we have a match fee that's very small. So whatever the lads get, it's because they've earned it, and they've bought onto that so much that I think this is why the results that we have got. This is the reason why, because they're fighting for something, and like I say, they've brought onto that fact of, right, okay, if we want to earn a little bit more, we've got to go out there and do the business. And I think that at some clubs at this level are paying such high match fees, such high game fees, and I think the lads at this level look at that and go, you know what, well, it doesn't really matter if I lose today, because I'm going to walk away with £100 anyway, or whatever it is that they're on. Yeah. Whereas these lads here come here and go, right, if I want that, I've got to do this. And I think it's
because obviously the bonus scheme that you've just mentioned there that we've talked about obviously behind scenes as well, and Jay has said probably what you're going to echo, that yes, you could put somebody on £300 a week and they'll turn up, they would have eaten KFC all week, happy to sit on the bench because they're going unpaid. Now, when the guys go out there and they play 90 minutes or Fergie time, 400 minutes, they're coming off, and if they get a result, whatever money they do get from the game, they go, I earned that today. I put the graft in through the week. I did my exercises, I did my warm-ups, I did what the coach, the manager, and everybody expected of me. We got a result, and it may not be the same money as what Manchester United players are on, but hey, you can walk away and you can be proud that you've earned your money. So I'm not knocking anybody that obviously gives their players X amount of money. If they can afford it, yeah, fair enough, that's fantastic. But it doesn't work with every single team in every single league. But what seems to be happening here is that the money that you do offer, for the players to be here, is inspiring them to be better players because it gets the best out of them, and it seems to be working on the pitch.
And just a quick one on that, like you said, I'm not knocking either clubs either, because the more money you pay, the better quality. And
of course,
my players haven't got quality, because they have. But sometimes when we play games, the team just have more quality than us, and that's just football.
Yeah.
When I was at Preston, we played Man United in the FA Cup at our place. They beat us. Why? Because they had better players. That's just literally it. They pay more money and they've got more quality players. But for me, with what we've created here, with everything that we've done, we have played the better teams. We played Workington, we played Ramsbottom, and we got a draw with both of them. Why? Because we had this heart. Heart's everything to me. Every time John and I look for a player, that comes first. If you've got to have heart. You've got to be able to take things on the chin. You've got to be able to go out there, and if you've got to nail someone, you've got to nail someone. And that's what these lads will do in the right way, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
But it's
they've got it in abundance,
Yeah, and it's and that's the thing that's been successful for us. Not the ability to be able to play amazing football, but it's the ability to be able to come back from a 1-0 down, or the ability to go and make a game nasty if we need to, or the ability of, which I think we have, is our main thing, is togetherness. And people can say, well, you created that. I didn't create that. They've created that. There are a bunch of players that it's a new team that a lot of them weren't here last season, and they've just adapted to what we've done, and they've got an unbelievable bond in there. And that will take them far. Will we win the league? No, probably not. But what I'm saying to you is,
stranger things have happened.
Yeah. But we're talking honestly. But can we go and achieve something this season? Yeah. So and they believe that, and we'll kick on from there.
I think that, like you say, we'll go on to it. But obviously, if we're talking about the club in whole. So the club here, obviously, it's got a lovely ground out there with obviously seating capacity. You've got a clubhouse, which we're kindly sitting inside right now. I mean, Jay, I'm going to bring you in on this one. I mean, what's the plans with the club? I mean, what are you expecting? I mean, we don't really want to talk about politics and what's going on in the outside world, but I think with COVID-19, we kind of have to touch on it because it's affected football. It's affected sports in general across the board. It's kind of thrown a curveball in, obviously, probably with training and obviously matches and stuff. But if we talk about what's going to happen 2021, I mean, what we expected to see at Kendal? What's your big image of what you'd like to see here at the club?
Just the success and get Finney's back open so we can, get the weddings and the reception things back on, and then we can, put more money into the football and the pitch and things like that, and just go forward and make some history.
All right. Well, I mean, if I ask the question, I mean, yes, I mean, Cumbria, if anybody doesn't know where Kendal is, we are in Cumbria, which is currently in Tier 2, which means that you have the facility to have fans back at the games today. So you will have fans, hopefully. So if anybody's watching, Kendal fan, and you're living locally, get yourself down today. We would appreciate your support, no doubt. The lads would be very happy to see some fans back in the stands. What's the ticket price? How much are we paying today to get in?
£9 for adults, £3 for under 16s.
Yep.
And £5 for concessions.
There you go.
The bar's open.
Yep.
Substantial meal.
Yep.
Stew.
Yep.
Meat and teddy pie and mashed potato.
Oh, lovely.
So get yourselves down the Parkside Road and up the min cakes.
Up the min cakes. I think, like you say, getting the fans back, getting the club. Obviously, you can help yourself to the facilities. We are open. So if you are local and you're thinking about what can you do on this sunny, should we say not so sunny Cumbrian afternoon, but there are stands, there is covers under the stands as well, so you won't have to get completely drenched possibly just on your way here. I think if you don't mind as well, as we've got the luxury of having a footballer, and a fan of football in very many ways, I'd like to just maybe ask some questions maybe outside of Kendal and just get your opinion on current sport in general. Now, if we could talk about current events, and it kills me to say this, I really, really don't want to talk about it. VAR.
No.
Go on.
Listen,
are you for it or against it? Go on, because I mean, you can see that it's...
I'm definitely for it.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Because I think there's been some very good decisions made from it. Yeah, okay, you can say there's been some bad ones as well, but you can have that in anything. I think in any day of life, you can have a good decision or a bad decision, but majority of it, I think that when it's been called upon, it's been very useful. And without it, there may have been goals that weren't goals, but they would have stood. So there's an argument for both sides. So for me, does it need improving? Yes. That's what I would say.
It's not 100%.
Is a massive thing. It needs improving. Does it take too long? Yes. That needs improving. So I think those are the two biggest things on it. But has it helped the game? I would say, yeah, it has.
In your professional career, I mean, you've probably come up against situations, maybe yourself or your teammates have probably questioned the decision of a referee on the pitch, probably politely. Of course, we're all polite football players. But like you say, it eradicates that in theory. When we used to go to football matches and you come away and you go, hard done by here, 3-2, we definitely scored in the last one. That it was not on the line, it was over the line. Now it kind of eradicates the argument, which some would say the argument was the fun part of being able to have a bit of banter in the pub afterwards. It was in. But like you said there, Chris, it kind of, yes, it's not to everybody's cup of tea, but if it's improved and made a little bit quicker, the idea is that it's to stop the argument. It is meant to be, that's what it's meant to be. It's the end of.
Yeah. And I think that, thinking from a fan, as I'm a massive West Brom fan, as we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And thinking of a fan, if I'm a fan and I'm watching my team playing who are top at the minute, Spurs or a United or a City or something, and they go and score in the last minute, and we're winning 1-0, and it's 2 minutes to go, and the referee's gone no goal, but then looked at VAR and gone, actually it is a goal, then we could have been robbed 3 points. If I'm looking at it as a fan, if without VAR.
Yeah.
And that could have been a massive result for us.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is I have to look at it that way. Yes, okay. If you're the opposite manager, well, in my head, I'm thinking, well, that's just showing you that it was a goal. So what argument is there if you've got the proof in front of you? Like you say, yes, it does knock it out the fun out of it with the banter and the rivalry and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, all you want is for your team to get you 3 points fairly and
exactly.
Go on. And I think that's what it brings.
I mean, obviously, me and you, Chris, we support humble, genuine, good football teams.
Well,
I'm
I just
a
believe
Newcastle fan.
I believe that you support your local team.
I know. Obviously, with Jay, I mean, Liverpool fan. It's
glory hunter.
I do like how he said that. You go, you've got your Tottenhams, you've got your United. He didn't mention Liverpool.
Armchairs. Never been to the ground in his life, but he supports.
Right. If we're gonna, like you say, if we're talking football, are you doing it again this season? Honestly, is Liverpool going to do it again this season? In your heart? No.
You know what? I'll disagree with it.
You think they've got it?
I think it was a massive game for them against Tottenham.
Yep.
They had a poor result before that.
Yep. With
Fulham, and it was worrying. Like you could watch it and everything. And what Tottenham do is they frustrate you. And it's a little bit. I'm not saying that we're Tottenham, by the way, but it's a little bit like us at the minute. We do frustrate teams because we can cling in and we can keep a clean sheet, but they do it at a different level. Jose Mourinho is personally my favourite manager. I've loved him since he's came to the Premiership, and what he does is he frustrates you. He controls the game in his own way. Yes, okay, City can have 96% of possession, but don't go anywhere with it. You could see that with Liverpool at the weekend. Yes, they got the goal in the end from a set play, but which is unusual for a Jose Mourinho team, set play. But he controlled the game, as in, yes, you can have the possession, but you won't do anything with it. So people think that controlling the game is, well, he had 96 possession, he controlled the game. But there's different ways of controlling. I believe, of controlling a football game. And he's fantastic at it. They got the result. That will give them confidence. And I just think that as long as they keep that front three fit, I think they'll do it again. Yeah, they can leak goals.
I don't think he was aiming at you to obviously to butter you up in any way, shape, or form. But from an honest opinion, I've got Liverpool fan friends, and it does pain me every now and then to turn around and go, "Well, you're doing well."
It's just the front three are frightening, and I think Bobby then goes and scores that header. He'll get confidence from that. Mo's scoring every week.
Yeah,
and so is Sadio Mane. So that front three are just a joke.
Are we in agreement though that it's not going to be easy?
It's not going to be easy.
Tottenham are going to be right on them.
The Premiership, they didn't win the Premiership last year easy.
No.
And listen, I've been in teams. The year we got promoted with Preston, we were winning. It's not easy. People think that's obviously when you're losing every week and you're having a relegation battle, that's hard. But when you're at the top of the league, to stay there is also very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on them, everything like that. So it's never easy to win a league, especially the Premier League, that I believe is the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world. So it's never easy to win that, and I just think that, like I say, if any of that front three get injured, then you're looking at it thinking, well, Jota's injured as well because he was scoring goals when he stepped in. There's no one really else to come in and do that. At the back, it doesn't really matter because they score so many goals. So if they leak goals, they can win a game 5-3, 5-4. So for me, those front three stay fit. I think they'll do it again. I really do.
With you, what you've just said there, you could both agree or disagree. With the Premier League being what I believe also to be the best league in the world, there's an argument on social media with obviously the sports pundits about who's the best player in the world. Now, we've had R7 playing in the Premier League, and it looked pretty comfortable that there's going to be another massive player joining Man City at some point in the future as well, which is going to be messy if that goes through. Would you say, if from an outsider's point of view, do you reckon he's going to be successful in these late years coming to the Premier League?
It's tough. I can't see why he wouldn't be successful at Man City with the players around him. Like, there's unbelievable players, especially Kevin De Bruyne feeding him. It will be unbelievable. But for me, I think this argument is a tough one because it's people like one or the other because of what they like. They don't go off who actually is the best. The stats are ridiculous. If you're going off stats, you can't really pick one because they're both frightening. If one scores a hat-trick in the Champions League one week, the other one scores the next week. It's like they've got a little competition going on. But it's what you like. Now, my favourite player is Cristiano Ronaldo. Why? Because he bangs goals. And I just think that and I'm not saying Messi doesn't bang goals.
No.
But he does bang goals. But for me, I just like him for that. Now, people may say Messi's the best because he's ridiculous. He's tricky. He can bang goals. I think his all-round game is much better than Ronaldo's. Yeah. Because he brings more, I think. But the reason why I think Ronaldo's the best is because he's done it in many leagues. He scores a ridiculous amount of goals every single year. Yeah. And he also does it for his country. I think that's the biggest thing for Messi. Yeah. He doesn't I'm not saying he doesn't turn up for Argentina, but he's not the same. No. And I think if he does come to the Premiership and he does do the business, then I think my mind might sway. Because
you don't think that age is an issue with Messi? Then you think
no?
Because what is he now? He's 33.
Doesn't matter. Those two are just specimens. Look at Ronaldo. How old is he? And he could probably still come back to the Premiership and score goals. And what Pep will do is he'll just play him in a certain way. He won't expect him to be sprinting all over the place like he used to. Just get him in those certain positions where he can finish. Yeah.
I think, the position that you played was right wing. Is that right?
Anywhere on the right.
Anywhere on the right. We're talking about fantastic footballers, goal scorers. If I can get it to work, I'm going to put you on the spot, if that's okay. I'm going to put him on the spot right now, if it lets me do so. And it should be playing now. They can still hear you. What's your feeling on that? Go on.
No, it's one of my favourite goals. It's one of my favourite goals, and I think why it was one of my favourite because that was my last season at Motherwell, and that club means everything to me. It means a lot to me. We went through as a family. Me and the missus went through a really tough time at that when I first went to that club, and they were fantastic with us both. They really stuck by us. I had about a couple of months off, and it's hard to come back from a couple of months off in football and losing your fitness and all that sort of stuff, and to come back and get in a team, a competitive team, is very difficult. So it's one of the and I've had such amazing times there. We finished second in the league. The year obviously the year Rangers went down, with everything that happened there. We ended up finishing second, getting in the Champions League, so playing in the Champions League with Motherwell, playing in Europa League 2 seasons as well, getting to a Scottish Cup final as well with them. So I've done a lot with that club, and that was like one of the last games of the season, knowing I was leaving. So it was, it was an emotional time then, and it was, it's probably one of my favourite goals for that. Is
reason. That something that, I mean, as the position you were playing there, is that the kind of playing style that you would encourage here from obviously your players, kind of like long runs as well as obviously passing, or are you more of a passing, 1-2 kind of, or is it a case of you've got the lads up there, or does it depend on who you're playing and a bit of research?
No, I just want my players to express themselves. This is what I tell them in the changing room. As long as you're not doing a Cruyff in your own box and losing it and they score. Listen, I want my players to just go out there and express themselves. I'm not one of these managers that says, "Oh, you've got to do this and you've got to do that." You play what you see. That's what I believe. You play what you see, and if you make a bad decision, just hold your hands up and go, "Yeah, that was my fault." But I just want them to express themselves. So my attacking players, I want them to go and attack. Run at your man, get the balls in, have shots. If you're in the box, I want you to shoot. Why are you passing it? Why are you trying to hold on to it too long? Have a shot, score a goal. That's what you're there for. That's what you're expected to do. My wingers get at their defenders, cross balls in, have shots. Defenders defend. But they've got to enjoy doing what they're doing. So if you're a centre back, you've got to enjoy going and being aggressive and heading balls. You've got to enjoy that, because if you don't, then there's no point. And my centre backs here definitely do that. And what we are fortunate with, and as he's saying about Cumbria, is we've got 4 lads on loan from Carlisle, and they're trying to get in the Carlisle first team. So again, the hunger's there for them to come here and do well. And every one of them have been fantastic. They really have been fantastic, and they're happy, yeah. And that's the main thing. If you've got a bunch of happy players, anything can happen.
Brilliant. Is that for us, Jay? By any chance? That ball?
Yeah, we can sort that one out. Yeah.
Can we give it away?
You want to do a signed shirt, and you as well?
I do, yeah. Can we give one away?
Therefore, yeah.
Thank you very much, Jay. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a signed ball, and we're going to get a signed T-shirt as well that we're going to give away. All that we ask for you, obviously, in return for the show, is that you like this current video that is going live as we speak, which a lot of you have done. Thank you very much. Like the page, Chaturday Live. We are going to go into why the page is there in a second. I will explain. And if you're watching this and you're not following Kendal Town, please make sure you're following Kendal Town, because there's a lot to come in the future. Today, especially, I've been granted special access by Chris that I'm going to actually be able to get in with the players today. We're going to have a few interviews with them that won't be on Chaturday Live. I am swapping allegiances, and I'm going to be in the huddle. I'm going to be in the huddle, and I'm going to be posting on Kendal Town's page today. So we're going to be taking over Kendal Town's football page. We're going to give you guys, the supporters on Kendal Town's football page, a real in-depth view of the team today, and it's going to be immense. Got Jack over there. I mean, he's buzzing. I don't know. It's in his pupils. He's probably had some mint cake. I don't know what's going on. So please like this post, like the page, like Kendal's page, and then later on this afternoon, I reckon after the game today, we'll announce it, if that's okay. So we've got between now and I think it's about 5 o'clock when the game's all said and done and we're all back here. We'll do a live announcement. So like this particular video on Chaturday Live's page. like Chaturday Live, like Kendal Town, and then we're going to give that away. So for those that have been following Chaturday Live, thank you very much for all the Kendal Town supporters that have joined us today. The reason why this page is here is we're supporting mental health awareness. So many people with COVID and many other reasons around the world at the moment are suffering. And the page was put together by myself, no funding, no sponsorship, all out of my own back pocket, purely because I wanted to offer a little bit of entertainment, interview a few people, bring some light to the internet that isn't news, that isn't down, and we're just trying to support you guys out there. What I would say is that if you've got a friend or a family member and you're not feeling 100%, please pick up the phone. Please call somebody. Please have a conversation. The chat show is here as well. You can message us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, or anywhere else you can find us illegally. I will get back to you. I am here to support you. I'm just here. I don't have any medical training or anything like that. I'm just here as a voice. And I think of today and many other, I think we can probably say that football itself, with COVID being on and off, is probably maybe not here, but it's probably affected sports people all over the world as well, because of the in and out of not quite knowing where your sport's going to be on at all.
Yeah, and it's something that now is a big thing for me, because I didn't really understand mental health. You know, I didn't really know anyone that went through mental health. I'd not been around anyone that went through it or involved with anyone that had gone through it. And then obviously in the first lockdown, my missus went through it really tough, and it kind of wakes you up a little bit of what it's about. And so it's a big thing for me, because obviously we've had to deal with that as a family, and she's come through it now, which is fantastic. And she's turned it around, and she's done amazing. But you don't realize how hard it is for someone until you see it. So I second what you say, definitely 100%. Look, if you are feeling down or you're not feeling great, you need to speak to people. You need to speak to people, because I think that's the hardest bit. And I think that people that do go through it don't want to put that burden on someone else, or they just don't want to talk about it.
I think the saying is, a problem halved is a problem shared, isn't it? Or in whichever way that is. And it's not a burden, and especially with what's going on with mental health as well. I know personally, if anybody wanted to call me, especially probably Chris, Jay, anybody else that you know, just get in contact with them. Just say, I'm not feeling 100% today. Have you got 5 minutes to just have a chin wag and just talk about it? That's all it takes. Sometimes it just takes just to make your day a little bit better, just to know that somebody's there that wants to talk to you back. And I promise you, there are people that want to talk to you back. Yeah. So, you know, we'll reiterate that. And like you say, it is a big thing in sports. And thank you very much, Chris, for sharing that.
And well, the other thing I would say is, even if you haven't, try and understand it. Try and understand it, because it's I think it's even harder when you don't understand it, because especially if you live with someone with it, you don't understand what they're going through. You just think, oh, there they go again, or whatever, because you don't understand.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
Get over it.
And it's really, and then when you do understand, like I did finally down the line, you think back about those times that you were like that, or you acted a certain way, or you reacted to a certain thing. And it obviously makes you feel bad. So what I would say is, if you don't understand it, please read up on it, and find out about it, because it is a tough thing.
Like you say, it could just be as simple as, you know, maybe asking the question. And as we keep going on with sports, especially with today's show, talking about football and sports, not necessarily the players. There's a lot of fans out there that their life and soul of their weekend is going to watch their team, and that is their release. So unfortunately, due to COVID-19, it's not the players' fault. It's nobody's fault. But without sport, some people connect with sport. I know that I normally speak to my friends online, and I have a chat. We talk about how their team's doing, my team's doing. It's just a long conversation. And without that, you think to yourself, are they still going to be my friends if we're not talking about sport? Are they still going to want to talk to me? You know, things like that. So again, sports being gone, it's never really gone. It's taken a break. And as we're seeing here at Kendal Town, we're in Tier 2. We're still going ahead today. The place is open. The bar will be open, selling hot beverages, all sorts going on today. So again, if you're local to Kendal Town, come on down. Come see me. Come speak to these guys as well if they've got an opportunity throughout the day. They're happy to speak to you and just support Kendal Town. Like you say, like this page, like this video, like Kendal Town especially. That is a main purpose. I will be checking if you like all of them, not just mine. Feel free to get in touch as well. I think to end the show as well, from my point of view, and hopefully you'll reiterate, it is now the 19th of December. Next week, when we normally meant to be on a Saturday, it's going to be the 26th. I'm going to be spending it at home with my wife and boy, and a lot of you guys will be spending it with your family that you're with, because you may not be able to go and see family as well. We're not going to be doing a show for the next 2 weeks. One, because I don't want to disrupt anybody that's having Christmas off, but mostly we're just going to take a break for it. But we will be back in the new year, and we've got some big announcements to make. So on Boxing Day, I think it will be next week or next Saturday. Yeah. I will be posting information about the new year 2021, and I think if all well has gone today, I think I'd like to come back and see you guys again in 2021 and see where you're at. Maybe have a bit more of a catch up, and fingers crossed everything's going all right. So from me, I'd like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of our followers and Kendal Town followers. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again next year. Would you like to say anything to your fans? To your supporters?
Ho, ho, ho. Yep, Merry Christmas to you all. And we're still looking for volunteers. Anybody wants to come down and have a chat, and, you know, we still need people to come down and help out with programs and things and ball boys and such like that. So, yeah, get in touch. All the best. Have a good one.
And, yeah, just for me, look, we're excited to see you all again today. And like you just said a minute ago, you know, if it is your release, come down, come and see the football, come and see people, come and talk to people, because there'll be people here. Come and speak, and just enjoy your day. Like Jay said, there is food on and stuff, and just get out of the house and come and get some fresh air. Even if you don't want to watch the football, just come and get some fresh air. Come and just.
And I think just as Chris has started talking there, the heavens have opened. Well, not opened, but the clouds are parted. The sun is shining. You can see it's a nice green pitch there behind us. And the lads are going to be playing at 3 o'clock, I believe. And is it Marine? Is that right? It is Marine you're playing. Is there some sort of rivalry there? Or you got but either or, come on down at 3 o'clock. Well, obviously come down earlier. We're going to be open from
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Ooh, yep, 12 o'clock. Half an hour. So come on down. Yeah. Come see us. I'm going to be here all day. We're going to be set up. We'll be interviewing a few of you fans as well, just getting a bit of a backstory of, you know, where it started from, you know, you're supporting the town. It's going to be a good day. We're going to take over Kendal Town Football Club's Facebook page as well later on today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. And from all of us here at Kendal Town Football Club, we'll hopefully see you later. If not, we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.